What we want to see in the United States is honest, beautiful, free, but honest press. We want to see fair press. I think it's a very important thing. We don't want fake news. And by the way, not everybody is fake news. But we don't want fake news. Bad thing. Very bad for our country.
That was President Trump blasting the press as he continues to wage war against the mainstream media that's also simultaneously waging war against him. It's all coming as a new Senate report shows an unprecedented number of media leaks are not only damaging the Trump administration, but guess what? They're also threatening our national security. This report estimates that the White House is dealing with at least one leak per day, many of them exposing intel secrets and ongoing FBI investigations. So what do you do right now if you're the White House? How do you catch these leakers? Joining me right now here on set is former CIA officer and syndicated radio host Buck Sexton. Buck, good to have you here.
Thank you.
You used to be in the CIA, so what would be the process here? I mean, how would you find these people that are leaking? How do you go after them, and how do you make an example of them?
It's not an easy thing to do, but it is possible, and we certainly saw this under the Obama administration, which prosecuted more people under the Espionage Act than every previous administration before President Obama.
It's interesting, because you didn't hear a lot about that at the time.
No, you did not, and the press was suspiciously silent about what was an obvious clamping down on leaks that went to the media. But what's really different here is two things. One is just the sheer number that this Senate report is talking about. They call it an avalanche of leaks. But the other part of this, the other important component, is that these leaks, so many of them, again, based on what the Senate report is identifying, are negative for the Trump administration. So there's a very clear partisan angle that's going on here. Oftentimes leaks are just about information that the press maybe finds very interesting, that they shouldn't know about, that someone shouldn't be talking to them about. But in the cases that the report's looking at, these are specifically damaging to the Trump administration. So what you have are people violating their oath and violating the law, it would seem, based on the leaks that we know about, in order to try, to hurt Trump, which is different from the leaks that you tend to see. Sometimes leaks are about whistleblowing. Sometimes leaks are just about somebody who's saying too much and making a mistake. And what we're seeing are leaks specifically to bring down this White House. I mean, to nullify the results of the election. That is a huge difference from what was happening in previous administrations. Well, certainly in the Obama administration.
How are they also undermining our national security? Because that's part of this report as well. It's not just hurting the administration, it's hurting us as a country. Well,
the way that you look at information and the classification is actually based on how damaging it would be to national security for this to be released publicly. And so that's an important way to think about this. When we're talking about classified, it's not just, well, the government likes this information, doesn't think people should know it. It's that if people knew about this outside of official channels, there could be damage to national security information. So when you're looking at criminal leaks, it's inherently going to be information that could be, if it's true, damaging to national security. And so what you have here, it's a very clear campaign. I don't know how many people are involved in it, don't know how many leakers there are. Could be a small group, could be a relatively big group based on some of the reports we've seen, are people who are making a conscious decision that they will share information in violation of the law that damages national security because it is more important to them to hurt the Trump administration.
That's messed up.
It is absolutely messed up, and it is also illegal.
Buck Sexton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.